All right, Panther fans. It's September. We're
September
here.
1st.
We friggin' made it. So we got hockey this month. We got hockey soon. They're gonna have that development tournament in about
3 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, they're gonna have the development tournament like they did last year against Nashville. No, not Nashville. I forget the teams, but anyway, there's a development tournament in about 2 weeks. I got to find out if they're live streaming that. I covered that last year. I'll do it again this
You
year.
know,
And
I'm
then
going to Nashville the weekend of the 15th. I'm wondering if there might be a game.
yeah, I think I have my locations crossed because I think it's the preseason doubleheader is Nashville. So I'll have to check in on that. But before we get started here with Gustav Forsling, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button with the notification bell. We are going lightning speed towards 4,000 subscribers thanks to Fluffy, but I'll take it. It's all the same. So Stu and I have been going over the Panther players one by one, and Stu was the one that set the music. So we're going by the defense one by one again here. And today's subject is Gustav Forsling. And I'm just going to lay this out there, and then we're going to give the mic to Stu for a couple of minutes because Stu has been chomping at the bit to talk about top line Gustav Forsling for about 2.5 years, however long it's been.
Right?
There may not be another. There certainly isn't another big player on the Panthers, and maybe he's in the top 5 in the league in terms of the spotlight is now on him because everybody knows Uyghur's gone, and the people that like Uyghur consider him one of the top better number one pair defensemen in the league. So Gustav Forsling has a massive spotlight on him. And Stu, just tell us how it's going to work out, man. Just let us in. Just let us know.
Everybody that's watched our videos since I've been on your channel knows that I've touted Gustav Forsling as our best overall defenseman. Skating wise, hockey IQ wise, blah, blah, blah. If there was any drawback to his game, which really wasn't a drawback, it was him not taking more offensive control. And we saw his ability during an 8-game stretch where I think he scored a goal in every game. So yeah, he's got shoes to fill, but quite honestly, he's not filling Bobby Orr's shoes. He's filling Mackenzie Weegar's shoes. And as we all know, Mackenzie Weegar made a lot of mistakes. I mean, he played solid minutes, blah, blah, blah. You can make the case that he was, one of our best. But the bottom line is, when it counted, he cost us games. I'm talking about the playoffs. So as far as I'm concerned, the shoes aren't that big. The only thing is the chemistry that Ekblad and Weegar had, the friendship that they had. I don't see Forsling as this outgoing, he's not, he's not Jonathan Huberdeau or Weegar I think he's more like a Alexander Barkov personality-wise. He's quiet, he gets the job done, but he's not very vocal.
Right.
But who cares? I mean, as long as he does the job. So I've been calling for the Forsling Ekblad combination since day one. I'm finally, and if it comes to fruition, I'm finally getting my wish. Why do I think there'll be a great combination? Well, we've said it in previous videos. Forsling is the best skater. I think the way I envision this pair, Aaron Ekblad always thinks offense. Forsling always thinks defense. So again, from the previous videos, people, we both talked about the fact that, Forsling 95% of the time will get to the blue line and shoot the puck in.
Right.
As opposed to Ekblad, who, when he sees the opening, is going to go for it. So I think the way that the two guys are going to complement each other, I think Forsling is going to be that more stay back and cover just in case, a mistake is made.
Right.
But, I don't want to see odd man rushes or breakaways. So I think, Ekblad and Uyghur were guilty so many times of trying to do too much offensively, the two of them.
Yeah.
And they let the back door open and, leaving our goalies out to dry. So
Yep.
I hope, and I don't think that that's going to happen. The other thing is Forsling taking more offensive responsibility. And what I mean by that is, he showed us that he has a great shot. Obviously, he can skate. Hoping that Maurice goes back to the more traditional power play and that Forsling and Ekblad are the two guys. Although I want to see Forsling on the right side and Ekblad on the left. Again, we've talked about this in that Stamkos Ovechkin sweet spot where they can just keep feeding Ekblad for the one-timers.
Right.
I would love to see that as one of their primary plays on the power play. And there's no reason for Ekblad to not get 20 plus goals this year.
Right.
Between 5-on-5 and on the power play.
And power play time. So you brought up, I'm going to pull up his stats. You brought up his offensive game, and this is the one thing that I noticed when looking at his stats is, what's that, 5 years? He's the same age as Ekblad, so they're both 26. And as you would expect, okay, the more games he played, okay, he had a lot more games played this last season than in any other season, and his scoring was commensurate with that. And interestingly enough, even though he took a ton more shots, his shot percentage actually went up a little bit. So to your point there, it'd be interesting to see, how those offensive numbers change when he's up there with Ekblad, because he's not going to be the offensive half of that duo. What you might see is you might see him get a ton more assists as he works the puck up. It might give Ekblad a chance to, just kind of bust into the zone ahead of things, and Forsling kind of has things on the back end. That was the one thing with Ekblad and Uyghur was,
Eric, put that back up a sec. Yeah,
for all the talk we have about their friendship and et cetera, it never really seemed like that got the communication chemistry on the ice together from the standpoint of, okay, one of us is going to go and one of us is going to stay back. Like you said, a lot of the mistakes that were made was when they would both go, and
absolutely
defense, somebody's got to stay back. So
great point, communication. So I want to point out two stats here for the last season. Obviously 71 games, 18 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
So that's nine penalties, guys.
Right.
That's pretty good. So, he's a smart hockey player that doesn't take too many penalties. 10 goals. I think 8 of those 10 goals were scored in that end of season run.
Yeah, he had some kind of incredible run there. You're correct.
Yeah, it was 8 games. 8 games, I think he scored. Correct me, somebody, if I'm wrong, but I think it was like 8 games. He had like 8 goals or something like that.
Right.
But obviously, it was in the latter part of the year. And that means in the beginning part of the year, he only scored 2 goals, which tells me that he really wasn't taking offensive chances, or he wasn't taking.
I'm looking at it. Let's see. It was actually.
There we go. There we go. Back up.
No, it was. He had a lot of goals to start. Oh wait, you know what? They've got the end of the season first. So yeah, I don't know if it was. Let me see. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goals in the last month. Basically, is what it was. Yeah,
right.
You're correct. Yeah, yep.
So that means he had 2 goals.
Yeah, 2 goals
to the end of this. which tells me that he really wasn't thinking offense.
Right.
He was
Right.
playing defense, and that's
What's
why I
interesting
say
though is that's probably when Ekblad was out. Those goals.
yes,
That's probably when Ekblad was out.
yes.
Yeah. All right.
So I guess what I'm saying is there's an area that he can not improve, but that he could increase his production. And I
Right.
think he will. Take a look at the penalty minutes, though. That means, he took 9 penalties in 70. So the guy does, usually a penalty's taken, a hook, a slash, a trip. Usually those penalties are taken because, the player lets the other player get by him and they have to stop him, even holding penalty. That means he plays smart hockey. He rarely
Right.
makes mistakes. He rarely passes the puck and I won't single out anybody by name, but let's just say there are plenty of defensemen that will blindly throw the puck. They'll backhand the puck around the boards behind the net and it gets intercepted or whatever. Cross ice passes.
To your point.
It's rare for him to make those types of mistakes. So
Right.
again, I'm going to say Gustav Forsling is our best defenseman overall. And I think playing with Ekblad is going to help him. And it's going to help Ekblad. I think just like having a confident Bob behind the team, there's confidence. And I think Ekblad is going to have confidence knowing that his ass is covered by Forsling.
So to your point about penalty minutes, here's Mackenzie Weegar. Last year, 80 games, 81 penalty minutes. So that is just about a penalty every other game.
Holy shit.
That is a massive difference. That's a really good point. That's why I wanted to bring this up, because that's not something we really would normally complain about with Weegar. We complain about with the mistakes and everything like that. And I get the fact that, he's probably on the ice more and playing top line minutes. That's fine. But that's still a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, and look at this goal production. He only had 8 goals. Forsling had
goals.
10. How many assists did Forsling have?
I think it was 27. I think it was 20.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
The bottom line is Gustav Forsling blows Mackenzie Weegar away. So those that say, "Oh, Mackenzie Weegar, how can we trade?" You know what? We were calling for him to get traded.
Yeah, oh yeah. No.
So,
there's no walking that back.
Just like we were calling for Matheson to get traded.
Right.
Our job here is to tell it like it is. Obviously, we love our team. We want our team to win the cup. But when there's things that we see that are not so good, we're going to point them out. And I think Weegar was an overrated player, and obviously he hasn't signed yet for the big contract that he's been looking for.
Right. Now,
so, the season's coming on. So what does that tell you?
Right.
I think his agent is asking probably for 6-7 million.
Well, we heard it was Sergachev type money. That's what we heard when he was here. To the other point about winning the cup and everything, this is a little bit off topic, but I don't want to forget it. I saw an article from the Miami Herald, I think it was yesterday, and it was talking about how Ekblad reacted to the Tkachuk. Yeah, and I like how Tkachuk texted Ekblad and said, "We're going to win multiple cups here."
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it.
The window is closing for guys like Barkov. I mean, I shouldn't say that because they're 26 years old.
Yeah, they're still so young.
25. They're still young. So,
right.
5-year window. Again, I'm all gung ho for, let's just say Tkachuk for Huberdeau. And I wish Huberdeau all the best and let him get his 100 points in the regular season. Right. I'd be curious to see what he does in the playoffs for Calgary.
Yeah.
Because he certainly was a dud for us. So if Tkachuk brings everything that we've seen, that I've seen of him, that we've heard of him, and just from his, if we win the cup this year, Zito is going to look like a freaking genius.
If we win the cup this year, y'all better go out and buy your Jostradamus shirts, because I already made the video last week saying we were going to win the cup. So that's enough. That's enough. If I call the trade and the cup, that's it. Buy a shirt.
So I'll just end with this point because it's a big one. I'd like to see if, I don't know if you could pull the stat up.
Sure.
What Forsling's on ice average, ice, whatever, minutes per game. Do they have that stat?
Not on. Oh, yes, here. Yeah, it's time on ice. I'm looking at when Ekblad was out. Yeah, because it does look like it went up. I'm going to scroll to the bottom. It doesn't give me an average, but
was it 26?
26? 22. I would say,
okay.
Looking at what I'm seeing, it's about 22.
All right, so I'm thinking those guys are probably going to do 26 minutes a game.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And you're right, Uyghur was gassed.
Yeah,
80% of the time, the mistakes happen because he did not get off the ice.
He was,
and that's on the coaching staff.
I agree.
The coaching staff has to put the hammer down and tell these guys, you're on the ice for X amount. You got to get off the ice.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
The only time you might want to take some liberties staying on the ice a little longer is the first unit power play.
Yeah. Because you're not scrambling, you're not really scrambling around. At least you're not supposed to be.
And I'm telling you, if they put Forsling and Ekblad on the power play and let Forsling quarterback the power play, or even Montour,
either one. Yeah.
But if they give Forsling a chance to be the quarterback of the power play and see what happens.
Right.
And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, and it's like we've said with all the other players, the wild card in all of this is Paul Maurice. I would be, my hair would grow back if Maurice didn't make it Ekblad and Forsling. You see what I'm saying? That's how shocking that would be. The hair is already gone. It would grow back. That just, there's no other logical conclusion you can come to. Now, the other four guys, put four dice in a Yahtzee cup and roll it. And, it's going to be the system. It's either working or not with the bottom four. You know what I mean?
Right. And again, I say move Montour and Carlson up, or whoever's on Montour's left, up to the second unit, and put Stahl and Gudas on the third pair.
Right. So it's all going to be interesting, and we're closing in now. Absolutely closing in on it. And I'm ready. I'm rocking, and I'm ready to go.
We might need to speed things up and to catch everybody. We might need to do a couple of players. So
yeah, why don't we do the bottom four on the defense next? It'll be a little bit longer of a video, but we'll fix up the rest of the defense because they're all going to be intertwined with possibly playing together anyway. So I think that you got a good idea there. We'll do that, and then we'll see how it works out. Maybe we'll try to put together a top six and we'll work it out. We'll work it out. But
okay.
All right, guys. We appreciate all the support. For Patreon YouTube members, don't forget September 12th, 6:00 Eastern time. It's going to be a Patreon and YouTube membership exclusive live stream. It will be available publicly after the live stream, but if you want to be part of the live stream, Patreon, YouTube memberships, I understand times are tough. I have a Patreon level that's $1 a month in case times are really tough for you and you just want to be part of that support. It's $1. So it's there's other tiers, but I have to get better at selling myself, guys.
That's right. Well, that's what you have me here for.
Exactly.
Hit the like button, guys. If you're not subscribed to this channel, this is the #1 Panther fan podcast in the world. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so you're aware when we put out videos like this. I'm looking for comments. So guys, watch the video. And if you have comments, You agree with
let us
me
know.
and us, you don't agree, whatever. I love reading comments and, listening to differences of opinion.
Yeah, and I
Everybody's
have to,
entitled, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Just keep
yeah,
it respectful. All right.
exactly.
No need for nastiness.
Exactly. No, we usually have a pretty good crew. Usually pretty good crew. All right, everybody. Stu and I'll be back later on this week. Hockey is coming. Hockey is coming.
Yes, it is.